first time at junior level. And most importantly is that 2017 champion Zambia coming onto the Nkoloma Stadium pitch in this Niger 2019 under-20 second round, second leg fixture with a 2-goal lead over the East African opponents, Rwanda, who are left on your screen. So the visitors will have to win by a 3-goal margin to keep their qualification hopes alive. Whether that will come to fruition or not, wait and see after the 90 minutes plus in terms of the battle that will be expected to be presented here at the Nkoloma Stadium. So it's an important game, and for the local fans especially, because the last time that they watched the under-20 side was during the Total under-20 tournament that was hosted in Zambia, to be more precise, in Ndola on the Kafue province in Lusaka, and Zambia winning it, having successfully hosted it. So a few moments ago we saw the outgoing FAS General Secretary Ponga Liwewe, but these are the fans. And I tell you what, there are more and more fans that are coming here at the Nkoloma Stadium. Expectant crowd it is here, coming from the background where Zambia last year, what a tournament the Zambians had in terms of them cruising all the way to the final where they beat Senegal and thereby becoming one of the 4 representatives for the African continent at the World Cup. But of course, Zambia reaching the quarterfinal stage. So, the two teams meeting this afternoon. Of course, Rwanda, captained by Prince Burekea, that's the captain, the 17-year-old from APR, Army Patriotic of Rwanda club. And of course, it's a youthful side that certainly has progressed very well in terms of their participation in this tournament. But their real test coming through in the form of Zambia. Of course, the match referee this afternoon from the Republic of South Africa, and that's Christopher Harrison. This is Zambian side, captained by the experienced Prince Mumba, the player from Cabo Warriors. The likes of Muya Malumo today starting in the first game that Zambia played. He was on the subs bench, but came in and had a good game. That is the man whose 2 goals, the number 19, Francesco Mwepu, scored the 2 goals for Zambia in the first leg meeting that was played in Kigali at the Amavubi, rather at the Amahoro Stadium. Of course, the Amavubi being the nickname, the Wasips for this Rwandese side. That's the Football Association of Zambia FAS Vice President Rix Mwemba. Of course, right behind him is the delegation leader from Rwanda, Engineer Alexis Shimiana, is the head of football development from the Rwanda Football Federation. So we now pause for the 2 national anthems, starting with the Rwandese national anthem. So the 2 national anthems should be coming through, and of course, starting with the Rwandese national anthem. So that's the Rwandese national anthem, talking about our beautiful dear country. Rwanda. And of course, the Zambia national anthems talking about stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free. Welcome back, everybody, here at the Nkoloma Stadium in Lusaka, Zambia. And it is the 2019 Niger Under-20 qualifier match. The young Chipolopolo of Zambia up against the young Wasips Amavubi of Rwanda. So, the two teams meeting for the final presentations, but let's share with you who is in and who is out. We start with the host, the young Chipolopolo of Zambia. They've made one change. In comes the number 18, Muya Malumo, who plays club football for the under-18s, Wigan Athletic in the United Kingdom. He comes in place of Muma Mumba, but coach Charles Wallace still returning Prince Mumba, Prince Wale, Justin Wanza, Christopher Katongo, the defender at the back, and not forgetting Kingsley Hakuya. In terms of the tactical report this afternoon, Kikuya, Katongo, and Wanza in that defense, and they've also got a lot of experience coming through in Njovu, Maluma, and Mwepu up front. For the visiting side, Rwanda, they've also made two changes. In comes the number 11, Gilbert Nishimuyemi, who comes in place of the suspended Proteas Zimbabwe, who got a red card in the first leg. And of course, also a rare start for the number 9, Leopold Marie Samuel, the player from K Gent in Belgium, who starts ahead of Bagare as the two changes that coach Vincent Mashame has made this afternoon. So it's an all-out attack option that these Rwandese are parading this afternoon. Certainly they will need to get the goals this afternoon, and clearly you can tell the intention for this attacking side. So the two teams' captains meeting this afternoon, but let's share with you the match officials this afternoon. It is Christopher Harrison from South Africa as the first assistant, John Van Veck, and of course John Van Veck, and of course second assistant Atinkosi Ndongeni as the second assistant, and the fourth official from Mozambique, and serious panel in terms of match officiating this afternoon. So the two teams' captains meeting for the final time before we get started with the afternoon's proceedings. Zambia obviously coming on a high as a result of the 2-0 scoreline that was recorded from the first leg. They'll be hoping to extend that, but we can tell you that Rwanda have got a very good record playing away from home, and they may want to count on that, having seen the previous round where they got the better of Kenya. 38-year-old Charles Wale is the man in charge of this Zambian side. Of course, on the left is the Zambia senior national soccer team coach, and that's Wetson Musindisi Wadawada Nyerenda, part of the technical team for the Zambian setup. So a lot of expectations for this Rwandese side, and I can tell you more and more people are coming through here at the Nkoloma Stadium. Of course, tickets at some point, people feeling that maybe they're not going to make an entry. Now, let's share with you. This is the coach for the Rwanda under-20 side, Vincent Mashami. He's 36 years of age. And of course, his last assignment in terms of club football in Rwanda was during the 2016-2017 season, when he was in charge of Bugesera, a local side in the National Football League, which is the highest division in terms of Rwandese football. So the Zambian players just in team spirit, seeking in divine intervention. They call themselves Bolanalesa. Football with God, obviously, is what their motto has been, coming from the under-20 last year. And this is one side that has just graduated from the under-17 ranks. And of course, defending champions of the under-17 Council of Southern Africa Football Association, a tournament Zambia won last year in Mauritius. And for the very first time in the history of Zambian football, Zambia winning the COSAF at the under-17 level. And these are the young lads that have now come through the ranks and now part of the under-20 setup proper. So referee Christopher Harrison in charge of the business this afternoon, and anytime from now should be taking us underway for the first half here, and it's the host Zambia who kickstart. They're shooting from the left to the right on your screen. I'm your match commentator Matimba Nkonje in commentary position, alongside me Innocent Kaloko, an expert analyst and co-commentator this afternoon. So the stage is set, and the scene certainly a good one for the game of football this afternoon, but Zambia already trying to show intentions of going through it, and the handball in the meantime going against Rwanda. Quick start by the Zambians. Malumo now a bit slow, and getting the better of the situation was Bonane. Stronger in the midfield, spreads it wide to Gilbert Nshimieri, looking for some support. They certainly want to get an early goal, and that was certainly unstable, rather make the Zambians uncomfortable, but maybe they might have a realistic chance of maybe progressing through, depending on the final result. But again, it's about how Zambia will probably react to this situation. Innocent.
First 15 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes, very, very crucial for both sides, especially for Zambia. They allow a goal, and Rwanda will have their tails up, and that could be problems for Zambia. But if they do get the goal, at least hold their opponents, that will settle and beginning to get into that passing rhythm that Zambia under-20 especially is well known for.
McGovin now with the throw-in, but it's Zambia now who built from the back, trying to orchestrate moves with the captain Prince Mumba to the left. Badly done by the Zambian left back Benson Kolala. So it's Prince Buregea, the captain for the Rwandese. So clearly it's the visitors that have somewhat come like a house on fire. It started in the opening exchanges of this match. Mumba now lays it down, chest for the boys on with Mwepu now. The two-goal hero in the first leg, but that ball had already gone out, and so it will be a throw-in for Rwanda.
First time we're seeing Mwepu there charging for the ball, and you can see he's a big, hefty player, but seems to have pace, but more importantly, I think has a footballing sense to just be in the right place at the right time.
Rwanda pump forward, one forward with Prince Buregea, the captain. Now pressure from Mwepu. Composure shown by the Rwandese captain. Hope to make progression now with Leopold Marie. Throw in for Rwanda. So it's the Zambian side that are more on the defensive, looking at the way this Rwandese side has come in the opening exchanges of this match, almost resulting in a mistake at the back by Zambia with Thomas Zulu.
Thomas Zulu seems like the holding midfielder for Zambia, but they're first time making a mistake. So far in the first early exchanges has been pretty good with a dominating play in that middle of the pack.
Now fighting for the possession in the midfield, good composure by captain Mumba. Floats one forward, looking for Francesco Mwepu. Lays it wide to the left, finds Benson Kolala as a left back. The Changa Rangers left back, and combined effort there, not giving chance in terms of progression. So looks like Zambia will exploit more of the left wing, where Kolala is combining well with Mwepu.
Good movement there by Kolala, as you would expect. He'd be the one that probably will be pushing forward alongside Mwepu, and Thomas really just getting into his role whenever it's going forward. So good exhibition football from Zambia. Kept in
play by Mwepu, cross by Kolala. Chance now for Zambia, and goalkeeper collects Tiwari. So the first real attempt for the Zambians, but ably handled by the Rwanda goal custodian. Long bang forward now. Throwing Rwanda. That shot, or rather that movement was meant for Patrick Mugisha. So throwing on the far right to be taken by Mark Govin Shiamana. Looking for space now. Good damage. Chance now for Rwanda. They're bringing a good cross there, but in terms of the movement being read, not very convincing. Also in terms of the clearance by the Zambian side. Second time now, Rwanda will start with Prince Buregea. Controlling the midfield very well in the middle of the park, Janvier Bonane. Difficult ball, it is chest control. Nothing given in terms of an appeal for a foul. Mumba now. Good play by the Zambian captain, but still danger not completely cleared. This one, this side will certainly fight to the end of this match. We were told even yesterday during the press conference. But again, still Rwanda retained possession, a shot, and nothing to worry. Prince Wanya, the goal custodian for the Zambians. So, first real attempt from the Rwandese side from Mark Govin Shiamana. Not a bad effort from the 17-year-old. And that should worry this man, Wale.
Well, definitely. I think that they've started off very, very well. You even wonder that this is the same side that lost by 2-0 at home. And, well, like we've said, they are a very, very good side playing away from home, and they are exhibiting that already.
Of course, in the first, prior to the Kenyan side, rather Rwanda meeting Zambia this afternoon. And of course, the first leg, it was a 1-1 draw, even as we talk about that against Kenya now. Mwepu, first time was a rather difficult ball shot, and it is the crossbar, rather the upright. Second chance, and a save by the goalkeeper. So, first attempt coming through from Zambia, and it was a shot that came through from Martin Njovu. But the follow-up also ably handled by the goalkeeper, Ntiwari. So,
wake-up call this, and Mwepu there, chest control. Kinda dilly-dallies, but look at that shot from the left fullback, hits the upright. And again, second time of asking, goalkeeper, good reflexes there.
So first corner we have this afternoon, and it's coming Zambia's way. Brought in by Kolala, badly done by Benson Kolala. But still Zambia retain possession with Martin Njovu. Holding on to the ball too much, hoping to go through a maze of players, nothing given, but the final call does come through from referee Christopher Harrison after Martin Njovu was brought down. He was trying to go through a maze of Rwandese players. A chance now for Zambia, maybe from this set-piece situation, Innocent.
Well, yes, this is a great opportunity there. They just missed out on that corner there, which was badly taken, but they'll try and see if they can atone for themselves. Now pressure already beginning to mount on this man in goal there, and he needs to be at his best yet again.
So Justin Wan's an interested party, but they've put up a two-man wall. But from that position, looks like the best suited player to take it would be Benson Kolala. He's lining up to boot this one from that position, the Nchanga Rangers left back. Now, the first distribution in terms of the set piece in form of a corner was not very good. Second time again, very disappointing from Kolala. Now, here they break the Rwandese, and a foul in the meantime on Gilbert Nishiameri. One of the two changes that have been made by Rwanda this afternoon.
Well, Gilbert sandwiched in the end, but definitely brought down, and Thomas Zulu was involved in that one there.
What a bright start for both sides this afternoon, but in the case of Rwanda especially. But now they've got a chance here, they've got more numbers. They spread it far right, seeing Kolala is not there. Cross comes through, chance now, and should have kept it hard and low there. What an opportunity that the Rwandese had with Lage.
Great opportunity, but I love the way they spread the ball wide. This unmarked player should have just hit the target, but earlier on, Mwepu and company on the attack. Upright there. Again, the goalkeeper makes that all-decisive save. So 2 saves back-to-back. Zambia is showing their prowess going forward, and this is what Rwanda will have to contend with.
Well, first it was Njovu, and later on it was Banda. You can see while they had thought that that one was going to increase the goal tally to 3, but wasn't B. Like they say, almost doesn't count. But now attack is on the other side, and strong clearance at the back by Zambia from the huge number 5 Kingsley Hakuya, the 17-year-old from Dream Factory Academy in Ndola, Copperbelt province. Now Banda Lamek should be in action tomorrow probably if he's part of the Zesco United setup. Mwepu taking his eyes off the ball. He had promised during the week that he was going to score 3 goals this afternoon. Wait and see. But Mumba in the meantime for Zambia has got a chance to spread it wide where there is Martin Njovu. Chance now for the Zambians. They've got 3 players in the box waiting for the ball, but good cover coming through from Mark Govin and Shiamana. They're certainly putting their bodies on the line, this Rwandese side, and leaving nothing to chance and not giving Zambia so much space to dominate play. But Mumba now, yet again for the Zambians. Looking for Mwepu. Difficult bounce. So reaction from Muya Malumo there. Not the tallest of players going for that challenge was Prince Mumba coming up against the number 8, Bonane, for the Rwandese. One player down for the Rwandese. You can see a sense of urgency. They will not wait for the medical team to come through because obviously they will hope to get a goal as much as possible as we're approaching 10 minutes of this first stanza, Innocent.
Well, yes, one thing that has not happened, probably that Coach Wetson Nyirenda is sharing there, is that Muya Maluma has not really been in the game for the first 10 minutes.
Now, on the other side, Zambia have to show composure and they win that aerial, that challenge from with Christopher Katongo. So that's number 13. A lot of Zambians would think Christopher Katongo is the AfCON 2012 award winning captain, but this is a different Christopher Katongo, and in this case, he's a defender from Kasama United Youth Academy.
Well, one thing that they have in common is that athleticism is very, very athletic, as you can tell, very strong on the ball. So too, Captain Christopher Katongo of the 2012 winning side.
Now, Rwanda starts. They spread it wide to the left. Good distribution coming through. Christian Ishimwe. Now mistake. Chance now for Zambia with Lamek Banda hoping to get the better of the defense. Opportunity saved by the goalkeeper. He was too casual. He had all the opportunity to go through, and that surely should have been a goal. And Lamek Banda, with all that experience that he has, even playing for Zesco United in continental club football, would do better. But quick start by the Zambians, and this one going out for a throw-in.
Oh,
Chance for Zambia, yeah?
Yeah, he would definitely kick himself because Mwepu was actually very much open, but he was so casual about it, and that's what needs to happen here. They need to be told the complacency we're talking about could start to creep in, because that was a great opportunity to just kill off the game, really, because right now Rwanda are really feeling that they are in the game, and yes, you wouldn't know that they're a team that are 2-0 down already.
Well, also the Banda had other options of probably lobbing the ball over Ntiwari, the goalkeeper for the Rwandese side. One player down for Zambia, but nothing in terms of calling for medical attention. Justin Mwanza. But for Mashami, you'll probably be feeling that at the way things are moving, it might just be an opportunity for the Amavubi to get something. But this man also will be feeling that with the chances that have come through, pinpoint chances and clear opportunities in terms of pockets of spaces that the Zambian side has created, they should have been leading at this stage.
That's a bad tackle there from the captain. And was very lucky that he hasn't even seen yellow, you'd feel, because he was nowhere near the ball on that occasion. And now the doctor's being called on to that pitch. They'll look at that. He misses the ball, gets his man completely, and very lucky that the card has not shown. But this was the opportunity by Lamek Banda there. There he could have actually lobbed the goalkeeper even. But look at Mwepu there, not impressed at all. Because, yes, I think he could have passed it. One touch too many, as they say. And there he was always going down either way. So, really, Lamek Banda missing a great opportunity to make it 1-0 and 3-0 on aggregate for Zambia. Malumo, not really much in the game so far.
Oh, he hasn't shown, but for Lamek Banda, the Zesco United player, should have done better there, surely. But again, it's issues of probably complacency coming through in the Zambian setup, having won 2-0 away. But the rate things are moving with the way Rwanda have been playing, I think it could be possible. But this man should be worried with the injured Patrick Mugisha, who is still receiving treatment. So the 17-year-old Patrick Mugisha, the player from Marines Football Club, being stretched off.
So this is what happened there. He gets his right foot at ankle, really. Like I said, very lucky that he has not been shown the card. Well, I think he eventually, yes, I think deserved, as far as I'm concerned, Prince Mumba there, the captain, not leading by example on that occasion. Right in the middle of the pack, there was no need to go there hard and strong, Prince Mumba, but maybe, you know, just a little bit of excitement getting to his head. So
the 17-year-old Zambian captain becomes the first player to be booked this afternoon. Certainly pressure somewhat is an indication on the Zambian side, with 30 minutes slowly approaching the quarter of an hour here at the Nkoloma Stadium. Rwanda down to 10. Mugisha still receiving treatment, and now Zambia can break with Lamek Banda. Enough space, but there's a player in an offside situation, and Banda, selfish. should have released the ball, but again, there may be signs of immaturity showing in the Zesco United playmaker. Clearance now, Malumo to do the chess. He's got Mwepu waiting for the cross. Not so many white shirts in the box representation of Zambia, and badly done by Malumo.
Badly done. He was waiting for the cabaret to arrive. They took a bit of time with one company, but that's what Lamek Banda should be doing. A man, like you said, who plays for Zesco Football Club, has played continental football as well, really exhibiting not too mature football so far, and the fans not loving it because he's holding on to the ball a bit too much.
So Rwanda back to 11. Mugisha is back, but it's a throw-in by Christian Ishimwe. Chest control now, brought down nicely by Lague. Looking for space, good clearance by Christopher Katongo at the back. Just now for Mwepu. Opportunity for Zambia for him to make it 3 goals. And a save by the goalkeeper. Wow. Composure by Ntiwari, the Rwandese goalkeeper, spreading himself. Disappointment by Charles Chisalawale. But you must give credit to the goalkeeper as well.
Oh, he should be given credit, surely. He did everything right. Mwepu here, I think for me, good pace. The goalkeeper is coming out. He's a tall man, so you kind of slip it right by his side because you're hoping by the time he gets down the ball will have passed, but it's very, very quick to go. Just read it very well there. And, you know, just hangs in there. But good long pass that led to that and mistake in the defense by Prince, the captain there. And the goalkeeper just saving his blushes.
You can see almost the whole technical bench. The Zambian one had gone up thinking that they'd scored, but Mwepu with a glorious opportunity to put Zambia in the lead here. That hasn't happened. We had already seen the headlines in the local tabloids here that Mwepu extending the confidence levels being shown there. In the meantime, also, I was talking about Mwepu having seen probably the headlines already in the Zambian tabloids that he had scored the 3rd goal.
Well, definitely. I think you'd have betted your house on Mwepu scoring there. Unfortunately, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that comes off second best. So, good job by the goalkeeper.
Sometimes Zambia start making these chances count. Now, controlled by Muya, spreads it wide to Lamek Banda. Muya calling for the ball, too slow. Lamek Banda, second time he's losing out in terms of possession, but now they can benefit possession turned over. Bonane for the Rwandese. Leopard Samuel to the right now. Chance. This looks very promising for the young Amavubi with Patrick Mugisha. It comes inside. Chance now for them to shoot. And a difficult ball it was in the box by Bonane. Again, now they come with Christian Ishimwe. They're dominating play and picking up the bits and pieces. They may just benefit from the mistakes the Zambians are making because possession can be overrated if you don't turn it into goals. It's important that you turn the possession into goals, Innocent.
Very, very important. And Zambia's had a lot of chances here, but are really making this Rwandese side look very, very good. Lamek Banda is losing the ball, and the fans on this year's side are calling for his substitution. And very, very sad for him because you kind of look at him as being the more mature player because of also the club that he plays for. And that's not happening. And so far, Zambia dominating, but allowing Rwanda to...
Now, Njovu takes a shot, takes a deflection opportunity, and Malumo took his eyes off the ball. Will Zambia ever score now? Second time it comes through with Martin Njovu. Wow.
You just get the feeling if Zambia scores, gets 1, they'll get 2 and probably 3. But for now, they're being kept at bay by this Rwanda's very organized side, and a little bit of luck also on Rwanda's side.
Well, that shot coming through from Martin Njovu. But it's a throw-in in the meantime. On the right, from the right back, Justin Mwanza. Speaking of which, Mwanza, the number 6 who's lining up to take up this throw-in, his uncle is Billy Mwanza, and in fact, Justin Mwanza keeps up at Billy Mwanza's place. So you can see maybe a bit of defensive skills coming through from the senior Mwanza in the case of Billy Mwanza to his nephew Justin Mwanza.
You know, Billy Mwanza obviously has made such a huge name for himself, but this is what happened earlier. Goalkeeper saves a bit too wide for Muya there. Very, very lucky the goalkeeper just pushed it slightly wide, but it was on a silver platter. Had it arrived in his possession, would have registered his first goal. And again, their disappointment from the technical bench.
That's so much we've seen of Charles Bwale this afternoon, but it's Rwanda now. Against a run of play, they might just get something here. Nothing given. Zambia can build at the back now with Thomas Zulu. Kept it to play, but throwing for Rwanda.
Well, the Zambia don't seem to be doing anything right so far. Even what would have termed a simple control there didn't work out. Foul yet again being drawn by the Rwandese. Enjoying themselves here, it seems.
Oh, this is the one player Zambians have to be very careful. Is this man, or this boy rather, 17-year-old Patrick Mugisha. Suddenly one for the future, the Marines Football Club striker. You can see the appreciation coming through from Vincent Mashami. He's appreciating the inroads that these Rwandese side are trying to make into the Zambian side. 8 fouls committed and Zambia leading in that department. But it's the Rwandese, the young Wasips, who've got a chance from this set-piece situation. Deep inside the Zambian half, the likes of Muyamalumo have dropped down. 2-man human wall put up by the Zambians. A chance for the Rwandese. They've got 6 players in the box. It comes through and not a very convincing clearance by Prince Wadia. So danger for Zambia. Nothing was given there. And Mashami almost thinking that that one was behind the back of the net.
Should have been. Nice, Kela, educated left of the goalkeeper, made that touch, but there was a player right in front of him there. It was always going to be difficult, but clearance again by Kingsley, who has had a good game, it should be said.
Second corner, first one for the Rwandese in this first half. They've got an opportunity to make amends with this second chance that has come through, presented. And again, too many blue shirts. No one picking them up. Zambia may just be punished with this situation. Opportunity there. And only now does Lamek Banda clear the lines. Attack is on by Mwepu now. Hoping to go solo and personal. Chance now for Zambia with the captain Mumba. Slow to react. Was second to that ball. And the clearance, strong one at the back by the captain, Prince Buregea. Stu, Zambia come. But again, misplaced pass coming through from Martin Njovu. Too many mistakes being made by this Zambian side. So now Njovu goes down. The 2017 COSAFA top scorer. He was the joint top scorer at the 2017 COSAFA tournament in Mauritius that Zambia won, finishing the tournament on 5 goals alongside a fellow Zambian in Lamek Banda. They both finished on 5 goals. Njovu.
This is what happened though earlier there. You can see a bit of a raised foot there. The referee very much on point so far. Good refereeing, officiating that we've seen.
Well, of course, you're talking about the referee, good officiating indeed. His last game in the South African Premier Soccer League, you're talking about the ref Christopher Harrison, was on the 12th of May. He was in charge of Polokwane City and the Chippa United. It was a 1-0 draw in that match. Throw in by Zambia. Justin Mwanza lining to get this throw in. Mwanza, the player from Young Kana Football Club, were recently in South Africa playing in the Gauteng tournament. Outing it was for the young Zambian side. Now sprayed nicely from the captain Mumba to the left. Kolala for Zambia. Very disappointing first time ball control by Lamek Banda.
Oh, Lamek Banda certainly having a bit of a nightmare first 22 minutes, should be said.
Now on the other side, Zambia have to show concentration with Christopher Katongo. And out goes for a corner. So pressure on Katongo.
Again, Katongo very casual there. She just pushed it out and served to first corner. And we've seen the lethal corners. That man there, Christian, he's got a very, very beautiful left foot. There, again, an example of that. Goalkeeper comes out, fails to clear that one, but in the end, it's Kingsley who does the job. And reaction off the bench there, they know that that was yet another opportunity corner begging. 7 players for the Rwandese in the box, but Zambia defend with Lamek Banda. Stu hoping to retain possession with Leopold Samuel. Intervention good from Janvier Bonane. Strong sweeping clearance from Thomas Zulu. Rwanda will take a shot straight into the body of Thomas Zulu, who's combining the defense setup at the back with the number 5, Kingsley Hakuya. So pressure suddenly showing, or maybe signs of frustration with 23 minutes played in the Zambian setup. But it's Rwanda are dominating. Patrick Mugisha now. Let's see this movement. Looks very promising. Saleh Ishimwe takes it wide. Cross comes through, chance, a touch is there, but it will go for a goal kick. But again, unmarked there, should have made it count. Zambia again being caught off in that defense. The one at times, though, you know, the first touch by Zambia, very much a letdown.
The middle of the park now, Christian Ishimwe. But also they are doing for the Rwandese side is that they've also found themselves in good places, but clearly you can see that they're not making it count in terms of them executing or maybe orchestrating good movements into those important areas where they can get something, at least for them to have some chance of maybe erasing the 2-0 deficit, which is smiling in their faces. Now, Christian Ishimwe. Katongo, Christopher clears. Malumu waiting for the ball. Good cover. Finds Mwepu now. Chance again for Zambia. This looks very promising. Malumu is calling for the ball. Mwepu. And taking too long, running out of ideas now. Banda. And again, another wasted chance by the Zambian side. So, you wonder where the goals will come through for the Zambians this afternoon, because even when they are way ahead of the Rwandese setup, they seem not to have that chance to move things quickly and probably get a goal. One player down for the Rwandese, but Martin Islamic Banda now for Zambia. Mumba. And the Rwandese can build from behind with Bonane. Looking for space. They've entered the Zambian territory to the right. Building up slowly, but finding themselves in good places where they can get something. Good cover and rather going down rather easily there. Nothing given, certainly. It's very disappointing display by the Zambians this afternoon, especially that they find themselves very well, and they may just be punished. I've seen games, Innocent, where you dominate play and the other team just has 1 or 2 chances and everything else changes.
Well, you just get the feeling should they score 1 goal, it's going to be a madhouse here, because the fans would definitely turn against. Looks like they could easily turn and demand substitutions to be made, and they don't want that. The young Chipolopolo, they want to get the first goal and see if they can settle, because that they haven't done.
Attack is on, even as you're talking about that, Innocent. Lage. Good cover by Christopher Katongo. And again, Lamek Banda. He's not having a good afternoon this afternoon.
No, not at all. First touch, like I said, really letting the Zambians down. And again, for Lamek Banda, you wonder whether it's the pressure. You just don't understand what's happening with him, because he's supposed to be leading this young team in as much as he's equally young. But where football is concerned, he's definitely senior for most of these. And
interestingly, you've seen there's a change in terms of the wings. Rather, Lamek Banda has gone to the left, and to the right has come Martin Njov. They've swapped the rows, but now a shot, another bad effort. Wow, what a strike that came through from Samuel Laporte. So they certainly mean business, this Rwandese side, and Prince Ward was lost in that attack. Throw in for the Zambian side, but a wake-up call, 6 shots on target, and Zambia leading in that department, scoreless though it is.
Well, certainly a wake-up call, that, because that, I think you feel that's what Zambia needed. They need to know that this is serious business here, and they can't afford to be relaxed about it, because this is what it seems like they're doing here. They're playing around with the ball, they're not concentrating. The first touch is terrible, and Rwanda has just shown them what needs to be done.
Now, Bonane to the left finds Samuel, waiting to get some support. There's an unmarked Gilbert was overlapped at the far post, and again you can see there was one player there who almost, you can see the appreciation from Mashame appreciating Laga's position in sense there.
Again, good. That one was a brilliant strike there. Look at that. He's allowed to shoot and he picks the spot. Literally, the goalkeeper was not going to get it had it just dipped slightly. Thunderbolt that. The goalpost still rattling. Expression there. One of these times he will go out in the field to celebrate, I'll tell you that, because they are getting closer and closer.
Banda now has come back again to the right. Mumba been pursued strong, but now they've got a chance here, the Zambians. It's brought inside and no one to connect. Mwepu now to do the chess. Francesco keeps it in play. Oh, finally done by the Chambishi Football Club striker. And the fans are already demanding for a substitution.
That was actually Martin Njovu who went on that run and tried to bring in the cross.
Oh, Katongo.
Suddenly a foul there. Good call. And these are the challenges that Zambia will face. Dead ball situations. They've got a brilliant left foot, especially on that side of the pitch. In swingers, the goalkeeper needs to be on red alert. Oh, they're playing. They're very impressive, should be said here. Look at that. He holds him, he pushes him in the process. That's definitely a foul there from Christopher Katongo.
So the winner between these two-legged affair will go on, and we can confirm Christopher Katongo becomes the second player to be booked this afternoon. So 2 yellow cards for the Zambians. Certainly pressure on the young Chipolopolo, an indication by the way in which they're collecting these yellow cards. So 2-man human wall put up by the Zambians. And like we said, it's about the Rwandese benefiting from these set pieces, although this one has been badly done. So I was saying that the winner between Zambia and Rwanda will advance to meet the winner between Burundi and Sudan for a place at next year's Niger 2019 African Cup of Nations tournament. So the fans not happy. You can see there's so much opinions coming through. Opinionated fans they are, but for what? He still thinks that there's enough time for the first 11 that has paraded this afternoon, and probably a change may not come through any time. Clearly, there are no players warming up from the Zambian setup. Mumba now challenging and literally climbing and pulling down Ishimwe, the player from Unity Football Club in Rwanda. One of those that was part of the Isonga 2017 squad that went on to participate in the Toulon tournament in France. A big tournament for African teams many a times, but teams also from Zambia participate in that tournament. Now, bounce, and the goalkeeper Yase Tiwari has come out. He's made some important saves so far and putting the scoreline at half an hour played here at Scoreless. Tiwari got a yellow card the game against Kenya, the second leg that was played at the Amahoro Stadium in Kigali. Now, Zambia got chance now. 3 players in the box. Too much, he released the ball too early. In that case, Martin Njovu stopped again nicely at the back. Zambia with Kolala. Mumba, and he does get the favor from the referee. He was certainly appealing for the call to be made against the Rwandese in terms of a foul committed on the diminutive Zambian captain, Prince Mumba. So Kolala now with this set piece is certainly proving to be a disappointing afternoon for the local fans. We're hoping at this stage that Zambia would have probably been leading, according to my count, at least by 2-0. And they're taking things rather slow. No sense of ages being employed by the Zambians. Maybe comfortable with that 2-0 lead. And too much for Francesco Mwepu. Was unmarked at the far post. The 18-year-old Kafue Celtic product. So 14 minutes to halftime, Innocent. Any goals you probably think might come through?
Just get a feeling there could be one goal here. All of a sudden, not too sure which side will get the goal, because either side can. And there will be goals in this game, you just feel. And the home side has not asserted themselves pretty well so far.
Now, Rwanda. They pump in one. Danger for the Zambians. Difficult ball it is, and goalkeeper comes in, and oh, that intervention from Prince Wale suddenly not making it possible for the toe number 17 for the Rwandese to connect that one, Patrick Mugisha. "13 minutes to the halftime break. Scoreless, it is here. It is Niger 2019 AfCON Qualifier under 20. Banda now, Lamek looking for Mumba, but Mugisha does a good job. Good turning in the middle of the park in the meantime by Ishimwe. Looking for progression from Gilbert. Banda. Now, let's see. This looks promising. Banda. Malumo calling for the... And again, Banda. Wow.
Goodness. I think he'll be wanting to wake up Banda. He's probably thinking he's dreaming. He's having a horrible game so far. And very unlike him, though.
Well, everything else is not working for Lamek Banda this afternoon. He was one of those players who are probably playing football at such a level for the very first time. You reckon would understand. But an experienced campaigner playing for Zesco United. Last season, what a season he had with Quasi Football Club in the Zambian domestic league. Getting important goals for them, but this afternoon, oh boy, complete opposite. Now, Zambia hoping to start at the back with Thomas Zulu, the tallest player in this Zambian setup, the number 15. But now Zambia, too much from Benson Kolala. disappointing that some of these players, innocent, that actually playing the elite Zambian Super League are not showing and stamping their authority, thereby showing the distinction in terms of players that are playing the first division or from the academies. You wonder how. And especially in the case of Lamek Banda this afternoon, so far, 34 minutes played. No, not too much in terms of him being talked about.
Well, he's definitely being talked about off the bench, and again, there was a bit of a talk there. Maybe just a reminder, because the fans are beginning to wonder what game the technical bench is watching, because Lamek Banda is certainly not in this game.
Banda now with the set piece. Mwepu couldn't control it first time convincingly. A shot coming through from Prince Mumba, but again, the Rwandese standing out so strong. They were reduced to 10 in the last game that they played against the Zambians, but again, it's turning out to be an afternoon of misplaced passes, not having right shots at goal. In this instance, it's the number 15 Kafue Celtic player, Zulu, made that mistake. Katongo, Christopher, to clear for the Zambians. But again, expectations are very high from the Zambian fans. This, even as we make this commentary on the World of Champions Super Sport, having watched the Chipolopolo win the game at games at the AfCON now. Banda, Lamek, hoping to shoot, he takes a shot, and not a bad effort. So, for the very first time, Lamek Banda going through a cluster of players and getting a shot, but just going wayward from the 17-year-old Zesco United attacking midfielder come striker.
Yeah, for the first time he has drawn some applause as well from the crowds. But you can see a bit of what Malumo does bring to the game, though. It's very quick to release the ball, and I think that's one attribute that some of the Zambian players need to, get to grips with, because then you quickly make the ball work for you as opposed to trying to do all the running around.
Oh, Malumo to do the chess here. He's beaten that aerial challenge by Christian Ishimwe. Throwing in for the Zambians. Justin Mwanza lining up with this one, takes it back to his defense partner in Kingsley Hakuya. Banda Lamek looking for Malumo. Certainly different playing environment for the UK-based Malumo, who plays for Wigan Athletic under 18s. For the days when Wigan Athletic used to play at the JJB Stadium. Difficult hunting ground for most teams. Now Katongo, and Zambia clear with Kingsley Hakuya. Throw in for Rwanda. We're slowly marching towards the halftime break here. 9 minutes to the break, scoreless. The hosts creating so many chances but failing to make them count. At the back, Zambia with Thomas Zulu. Rwanda the recipients with Ishimwe. Spreads it wide to Mark Govan. It's brought into the box. Bwalia Prince to decide, and the collects. So Bwalia, the only and one of the few surviving members of the, not the only one in this first 11 from the team that won the AfCON under 20 last year, was that choice then. So much animation on the touchline by Vincent Mashami, the Rwandese coach. But for Muya Malumo, he has so far scored 25 goals in all competitions for his Wigan Athletic under 18 side in the UK.
Well, that's an impressive return for a striker there any given day, but he needs to just replicate that form.
Cross comes through into the box. The Zambians rather slow to challenge for that one, and blockade from that intended cross that was coming through from Lamek Banda.
I'll tell you one thing, Matimba, he seems to have been told by the coach that, release the ball quick enough, and that's what he seems to be doing the last couple of minutes, and so far seemingly working for him in as much as it was well defended on that occasion. But the Wasps have been very, very impressive so far defensively.
Mwanza now with a throw-in, and goal kick it will be. It's a very difficult ball for the Zambian captain, Prince Mumba, to keep it into play. It's been a busy afternoon for Christopher Katongo in trying to mark out Patrick Mugisha, the Rwandese striker. So in terms of the height, the Rwandese obviously have an advantage in that area. Zambians obviously on from the first leg and probably this second leg, they want to take the Rwandese on for pace and probably beat them in that department. Malumo. Mwempu now. Peter being put behind and still wanting to go. And what decision is given there? Nothing given. So, Mr. Christopher Harrison, one would have thought that he would have blown the whistle because the first assistant had actually lifted his flag, John Van Veck. But attack is on the other side, position turned over. And Zambia will do safety first in that situation with Kingsley Hakuya.
Wow, very questionable decision there by the referee. Now, Mwepu was being pulled back, he allowed for advantage, brilliant refereeing. But on that occasion, when he was shooting, there was a foot right in front of him, whether it was deliberate or not. And that's the talk there that's happening with the captain there, Prince Mumba, talking to the referee. And also, Malumo equally getting into the conversation to say, look, it should have been a penalty. He says there's nothing doing it. He got the ball first. Let's see whether that's the truth. Malumo with a flick touch there, where pretends his marker is being held back. But you don't blow here because advantage Zambia there. But did he get the ball first? Maybe it's a big question. So question marks abound. But again, let's look at it from this angle, where pretends his marker, brilliant player. He is there, goes past another one, and that tackle there gets the ball first. So really, it cannot be a penalty like the Zambians would think.
So Christopher Harrison is not new to controversy. In South Africa, they call him Mr. Selfie. He was seen getting selfie pictures with, Mamelodi Sundowns players after a game against, Cape Town City. And I remember that much, coach for the Cape Town City, Ben McCarthy, oh boy, he had all the comments to make about Mr. Christopher Harrison.
But maybe more importantly, who won that game? Was it Sundowns that won it? Because if it's Sundowns won it, then you have all the right to really complain. The human at the end would like these selfies, but not on match day.
Well, Mr. Selfie there, being booed by the local fans here in Zambia. 5 minutes to the halftime break. Zambia, in the meantime, are warming up two players, an indication that maybe an early change may be made into the second stanza, or probably towards the end of this first half. But now Zambia with Lamek Banda now seems to have reestablished his status that is known as spread wide. Banda now, chance for the young Chipolopolo, goalkeeper fluffs it. Still kept in play by Prince Mumba, the captain. Cross comes through, Malumo not challenging for it, and easy pickings for Ntawari, the Rwandese goalkeeper.
Well, whatever has been said to Banda now, he seems to have gotten it right, because he is being effective, which is what was expected of him.
Now, on the other side, it is Rwanda have got a chance here with Bonani. Interchange in the box, looking for Mugisha. Goes down rather easily, throwing in for Zambia. So it's like this Rwandese side will hope to operate on more counter-attacks. When they've got a chance and see that the Zambians have committed more players, more numbers up front, they'll hope to exploit that area. Even as Banda is brought down, and it's a free kick for Zambia deep into the Zambian half.
Banda beginning to be very, very effective for the Zambian team, it should be said. Again here, drawing the far after using his body to great effect. Now Zambia want to take it quickly. They would have loved to go to the break 1-0 up, but so too the case for Rwanda, and that's how come maybe it's still 0-0 here.
Now, Zambia now with Martin Njovu going inside, cuts inside, finds space for Malumo, lays it, hoping to boot from there. Malumo again. Prince Mumba was waiting to receive the return pass. He was in a better position to shoot there. Good cover in terms of holding on to the ball, but it was always going to be difficult for Malumo to shoot from that position. Now, Katongo, Christopher, Banda, Lamek, wide to Enoch, Francesco Mwepu. Cross comes through, and too much power from Mwepu.
It's not happening in the final third for this Zambian under-20 national team so far. And now they'll be really very happy to score those 2 goals away in Rwanda, because it looks like a mission impossible so far in the first half. It's interesting, Mr. Harrison does not do a lot of running around the pitch, but does command the proceedings. Christopher Harrison, the match official from South Africa. But now, at the back, Zambia will begin with Benson Kolala, looking for Malumo. Foul in the meantime by the Zambian striker. To allow everyone to move forward, feeling that they can get maybe on
on a high, getting to the halftime break. Tawari with the set piece, the goalkeeper from Intari FC, which is a second division in the Rwandese league. But now they've got a chance. Good diving shot, blockade coming through from Kolala. Stu, hope to connect this one, and easy pickings for Prince Bwalia. Quick header coming through from Mugisha.
Lack of communication on that occasion, that's the reason. But now foul to Rwandese, definitely for blocking the goalkeeper. I don't even know what he's spreading his hands for, Gilbert, because it definitely impeded the goalkeeper. Yeah, the goalkeeper's coming to take that one. There. Don't do that.
I saw something similar 2 weeks ago when Sundowns played against Wydad Casablanca. Dennis Onyango, the Sundowns goalkeeper, in a similar situation, hoping to get the action quick, play into quick back into action. That resulted into the yellow card, having had the player blocking his quick break off. But so this is part of the crowd here at the Nkoroma Stadium, filling up this venue. But obviously the goals have not come through, and maybe a time to just have a cool drink because the goals are not coming through. So it's proving to be a disappointing afternoon, especially in the first half. 45 minutes we've played here. Zambia down to 10. Lamek Banda out. It's part of the delegation that has come through in terms of the Rwandese support that has come through. And so just communicating maybe back home, Alexi, the head of football development, Rwanda Football Federation, maybe communicating back home. He's an engineer by profession. Kept it to play by Mwepu, but out it goes. So we're already into the 1 minute of additional time here. And any time from now, referee Christopher Harrison should be blowing the end of this first half. Disappointing one for the home side. And for the home fans especially. Now Mumba, Prince, looking for Mwepu. Malumo was doing the chess, but there was a foul, so to be recorded. A quick start maybe for the Zambians. Rwanda will be very happy to end the first half in this fashion, because in the first leg at this stage, they were trailing by 1-0. Mwepu to Banda Lamek now. Holding on to the ball too much, to Mwepu. Francesco. Difficult ball, and the goalkeeper's come out and picking it up from the air. So Mr. Christopher Harrison blows the end of the first half here at the Nkoroma Stadium. Lamek Banda has had some fair chances to have put the Zambian side in the lead, but it is the number 7 also for the Rwandese, Ishimwe, who's been a busy bee in the midfield. Mwepu had a chance one-on-one, and that didn't work out. But at half-time, we can tell you, it is the young Chipolopolo New, the young Wasips of Rwanda Mavubi New. Join us shortly for the second half. Zambia and Rwanda in their race to qualify to the Niger 2019 African Cup of Nations. Welcome back, everybody here. Half-time, it is Zambia new and Rwanda new. And here we go now for the second half of this second leg, second round qualifier. And no changes on either side. It is Zambia in the white tops and a patch of brown and, of course, white shorts. And in blue and a bit of yellow is Rwanda. So no changes made on either side, even as I continue in commentary position with Innocent Kalaluka as my co-commentator this afternoon. The fans will be hoping that the second half will probably bring some life in terms of the Zambian attacking options getting goals now. Malumo did not read the move very well that came through from Lamek Banda. Chance for the boys on, and good clearance, even as the offside call was made against Rwanda at that time when Kingsley Hakuya was making the change. So the two teams line up scrolling down on your screen. Of course, we said Zambia not making any change. Charles Ward is still retaining faith in the same first 11 that is paraded this afternoon. The same can be said about Vincent Mashami, the Rwandese coach. Clearance by Kingsley Hakuya. Challenge now. Mwepu brings it down nicely. Shot now. And a weak shot opportunity for Malumo. And again, blockade coming through by Makovin Nishiamana. What a chance for the Wigan Athletic striker. He would have registered an important goal for the Zambians. Remember, he did score during the week as the Zambian team was fine-tuning for this match when they lost 3-2 against local side Red Arrows. Now, back to action. Mumba Spreads it wide now to Lamek Banda, looking for options. Malumo finds enough space for himself, waiting to get some support. Brings it inside. Nicely done. Chance now for the Zambians. And again, no one following up on those loose balls in the box. I like the one-touch type of football that Malumo has.
Oh, definitely. I think Malumo has that European touch, if you like. He makes the ball work for him and not work for the ball. Very good 1-2s, but he missed a great opportunity there to register his first goal for Zambia.
Now attack is on by the Rwandese, coming through with Lague. Throwing for the Rwandese. They will not wait for the right back in the case of Mark Govani Nshiamana to take the throw-in. They know it's 45 minutes in the face of victory or defeat, or they'll be bombed out of the competition. Remember the feathers that they are yet to qualify to the African Cup of Nations tournament proper, going through the qualifying stages. In the case of Rwanda, the only time they've been at the finals was in 2009, and that was when they hosted the tournament. And in that tournament, of course, the Rwandese finishing third in the group standings behind Cameroon, who finished on 5, Ghana on 7, and of course Mali on 0 points. The attack is on by the Zambians now, and decision going against the Zambians.
I think the decision is for Zambia there, because there was a bit of shed pulling there from the Rwandese. So the Wasps here proving to be quite the team, not yet registered a sting of sorts, but so far they've exhibited good football. Zambia not made any changes, but because also they got into the stride in the last 5-7 minutes of the game.
Well, the Rwandese also haven't made any change, so tactically maybe the two coaches feeling that what they've given us this afternoon is probably the best. Of course, there are available options on the subs bench on either side. Extension coming through with Patrick Mugisha. He's had a good game in the first half, but good cover coming through from Kingsley Hakuya. Clearance at the back. He's getting the thumbs up. Certainly a strong one for the Zambians in terms of the defense. Now, Banda, Lamek. Mumba is calling for the ball, and so is Malumo. Delays, but still finds space on the left now. The Zambians can come through with Martin Njovu. Cutting inside, looking for space. Finds Banda Lamek, who can bomb from that position. Takes it wide to Francesco Mwepu. Shows too much of the ball. The Stewards got a chance to bring it across, and easy pickings from Tawari. Delay by Mwepu.
Mwepu holds on to the ball a bit tad longer than he should. So too, you know, is a fellow attacking partner, Banda. He too holds on to the ball, and that really is the little difference that Zambia is failing to work on.
Banda, Lamek. Mwepu couldn't control that one. And the foul going against the Zambian, against Ishimwe. 4 minutes in the second half. Tawari lining up to get this set piece, the Intari FC goalkeeper. But for this player, Malumo, certainly accounting himself very well, where he scored 25 goals in all competitions in the under-18 reserves for the Wigan Athletic side. Throw in for Rwanda.
This is what happened earlier. Long boot there. Opportunity, Mwepu tends. He's got a very good first touch, Mwepu in front of goal. But there, Malumo should have made it count. A bit of a weak shot there, and great reaction there from the defender that was done, Gobin.
The fans are chanting, "Let's go Zambia." Partisan home crowd, it's expected. Cross now for the Zambians. Malumo is in the box, does not challenge for the ball. And too much for Martin Njovu. Oh, Njovu. The chat I had with him, he says his favorite player is Chris Mugalu on the domestic front, and of course the international front being Cristiano Ronaldo. Speaking of which, the World of Champions Supersport will show you the UEFA Champions League final next Saturday. Real Madrid up against Liverpool. Back to action now. Malumo. He's got space now to move forward. Banda's got it for the ball on the far right. As if he said into commentary, does that. Banda now hoping to get a shot, and a weak one. Easy one for Tawari.
Oh,
so the fans not loving it, yeah?
Not loving it at all, because the same player who passed the ball to him went wide, was in space, he doesn't give him, and he takes a shot using his weaker foot.
Well, if there's one person who should be very disappointed with Lamek Banda this afternoon, should be the Zambia senior national team coach, Wetson Nyirenda. Is on the subs bench, part of the technical team. And remember, he once scored him. You can see the reaction from Wetson Nyirenda. very disappointed. Remember, there was so much call in last year, that so much that Lamek Banda was called to the senior national soccer team setup. But with such a performance, I reckon it will be difficult even for the fans to vouch for him that he should be included in the national team setup proper. But now, attack is on, and should be... Play will be stopped here. Prince Mumba brought down the spirit of sportsmanship. Christian Ishimwe helping the Zambian captain be upstanding. Now spread wide to the left with Benson Kolala. Whips one, looking for Malumo. Flees himself very well, Malumo, looking for space, hoping to get the better of the defense. He does that. Chance now for Zambia, takes a shot, and it's a goal! On his debut proper for the senior national team. And it is Muia Malumo who's putting Zambia in the lead. The winger athletic striker under 18, scoring his first goal for Zambia. And Zambia in the driving seat here. It suddenly had to come. The pressure by the young Chipolo Polo has finally paid off. And Malumo suddenly turning out to be a crowd favorite in on his second game for the Zambians. He did come in as a substitute in the first leg. And Malumo, 19 years of age, putting the Zambians in the driving seat here, Innocent.
What a game, but what a turn though. Between the legs, goalkeeper, the strike defender left for dead. A ricochet bit there, but still it will count that it's Muia's goal because he's the one. Oh, Sangawalete, nicely done that. And look at the shot, skips off the goal of the defender and nutmeg, that's what we like to call Lido. Then the goalkeeper going the other way because of that bounce and the excitement abound here. The fans are static. That's what Zambia needed, and goodness, you felt then that if Zambia gets one, they'll probably get two.
So Malumo with the goal in the 53rd minute. It is Zambia 1 and Rwanda 0. Wow, what a good way to announce his intention, and in terms of him maybe, you know, fighting for a place in the Chipolopolo proper setup. The Wigan athletic striker putting Zambia in the lead here. Good ball control by Malumo. Hoping to receive the return pass, but the Rwanda is clear.
Islamic Banda with a bad pass, really. Malumo was nowhere near that position that he made the pass to. But I think you were saying about how the fans are really loving him. Also because of the backdrop of, for instance, young Charlie Musonda, who Zambia has wanted to come and play for the national team, but for whatever reasons, a lot of reasons, you know, being given true or false, he has not pitched to play. And first time call-up, he comes through and does that for Zambia. Goodness.
Certainly make him become very confident. But now it's Zambia now with Mwempu. Good turning by the championship striker, and it's brought down. This should be a yellow card. Christopher Harrison still keeping his cards close to his chest. Quick start by the Zambians, but the play will not continue until Mwempu is upstanding, the Zambian striker.
That tackle there. Again, Mwempu is not the fastest, so it was very easy for him to be brought down. Lagu there with that tackle, foul, and no card though. So now this man knows it's a huge mountain to climb now, and Zambia would definitely have wind in themselves.
25 fouls. It's brought inside. Good header also in terms of the challenge by Mwempu. Hoping to connect from that Benson Kolala set piece. So Mwempu, what a brother Enoch on the winning side in Austria, where Red Bull Salzburg, where there's also Patson Daka, was voted the best player during the CAF Glow Awards last time around. They won the league, and they came so close to making it to the finals of the UEFA Europa League. Red Bull Salzburg losing out to Marseille. Of course, Marseille also losing out in the final to the Atletico Madrid, who, speaking of which, will be in action in Africa. They'll be playing against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, one of Africa's representatives at the World Cup 2018 in Russia. It's flooded to the box. Wadia Prince comes and collects.
Sometimes communication there is not really there. Second time that there's been a situation where different Zambian players are bumping into each other. So there needs to be a bit of communication. The goalkeeper there, Prince Walia, needs to command his backline well enough.
Now, Gilbert Nchimieru. They will always pump the ball forward. High balls is what this Rwandese side normally operate on. The marker, Martin Njoku, dropping down, takes it wide. Appreciation from the fans. Zulu, brother Mwanza, Justin. Kingsley Hakuya, looking for spaces. Good interchange by the Zambians. This is good play. Long ball from Wepo, offside.
And no look past there from Hakiwa in Zambian defense. Goodness. Zambia now begin to be confident even as the substitution is being made by Rwanda.
So change by Rwanda, Yakuba Vinsenge comes in for Patrick Magisha. And in the case of Yakuba, a defender, you reckon, coming in for a striker, maybe a bit of reshuffling that has to be done in terms of the setup by coach Vincent Mashami.
Don't really even understand it that much. You want to bring in an attack-minded player. You are down 3-0 on aggregate, surely.
Oh, Rwanda. Oh, that did look very good, and looks referee is going to issue the first booking this afternoon for the Rwandese. And the culprit being the number 9, although he walks away from the incident crime scene.
I thought it was the Zambian really that went in there, and it's just simply pretending to be injured as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if we'll have a look at that again. But double, yes, he went in with 2 feet, both starts showing.
No.
So Kingsley Hakiwa there with that double-legged tackle there starts showing. Always going to be given a card. So a little bit of excitement getting to the head there of the defender. No need to do that, and giving away
so
free kick here.
Thomas Zulu becomes the 3rd player to be booked for the Zambians, the defender from Kafue Celtic. It's floated to the box, and that looked very dangerous. You were talking about communication. And again, that is another area where the Zambians suddenly, they are not talking. You can see Mashami feeling that maybe his side should have benefited from that miscommunication in the box. But this player is what is separating these two sides at the moment. Malumo Muia.
At least he seems to be vocal, Malumo, but he goes past his mark at relative ease. A bit of a ricochet there, ends in the back of the net though. And there, goalkeeper, get the feeling probably would have got it, but doesn't matter anymore because Maluma has registered his first goal for Zambia. But we're talking about the Zambian defense not communicating, and that really almost messing up the good works that have been done.
Well, it's good for Malumo today. He started ahead of Mumba. The only change that the Zambians have made, but the Zambian player will need more treatment. In this case, and play will be stopped. It's the captain, Prince Mumba, who is helping out the injured player. Difficult to see from this position, but Mumba, Prince, the captain, just helping out, even as the Zambian medical personnel has been called in to attend to the injured player. And it's the number 15 from this position. In fact, it looks like Lamek Banda.
Yeah, it looks like Lamek Banda, I think, that has gone down. Yes, it's jersey number 10 there.
It's the second time the stretcher is being called for Lamek Banda. Because Banda was a joint top scorer last year at the COSAFA tournament. And one of the games I remember is he scored a hat-trick during the Mauritius Under-17 tournament when Zambia beat Madagascar by 7-1. The product from Manzi Valley Football Club. That's where he was discovered, taken on by Nkwazi Football Club coach Albert Mpande. He's now coaching in Rwanda. He's coaching Police Football Club there, former of Nkwazi Football Club now. Bonani now, Janvier, good turning. Finding space to the newly introduced number 5, Yakuba. Spread wide. Cross comes through and goalkeeper collects.
Our mark has come and gone here, and so far Zambia has taken the game to Rwanda in the second half. No changes still from a Zambia perspective.
Now, Zambia with Martin Njoku. Corner. So corner now for the Zambia side. First one in the second half. After that stoppage by Sare Ishime. It's Prince Mumba lining to take this one up. An interested party there. One of the top players in the Zambian setup. Standing out like a wrestling match in the box. It's expected from such situations. Now, they should have at least communicated, because there was Lamek Banda was interested, and so was the tall number 19 for the Zambians. In fact, it was Mwepu who went in as well, hoping to connect from that situation with Lamek Banda. A bit of talking would have done more between the two Zambian players in terms of who would go first for the ball. Throwing by McGovin. It's too kept into play. Throwing now for the Zambians. They're taking time, said maybe they reckon the job has been done with that one goal by Malumo.
Well, in that sense, the job has been done. You don't see 4 goals or 3 goals coming through from the young Wasps here. It looks like almost, a foregone conclusion that Zambia does qualify here already. But still, nothing wrong with racking up the goals. Just so your opponents should feel that they're coming up against a free-scoring side. So far, nothing free-scoring about Zambia in this second half.
Most importantly, picking up on what you said, it's about making a statement that you're actually here. Yes, we are the defending champions. In the case of the Zambian players, that we are actually going to Niger. So remember, it's a bathe against either Burundi or Sudan in the next round, and that's a final qualifying round, 2-legged affair. It will be in July. So, and also maybe a World Cup turning out more to be a situation of wanting to see permutations and how best goals can come through and making combinations work. Now, wonder few they can get a space save, and good timing. Cross comes through goalkeeper and he collects. But good play in the meantime from that cross that came through from the newly introduced Yakuba Winsengi. Suddenly come out good since being introduced for Patrick Mugisha.
Well, you'd have thought also for Zambia that maybe they'll make a couple of changes. Just give the youngsters a bit of an outing. You don't see Zambia losing surely 4 goals to 0 here, but Zambia letting things be as they are. And the result is coming through, so maybe you're thinking, why not?
Rwanda now with Yakuba Bonane. And Walia collects the Green Buffaloes goalkeeper. Oh, he didn't see any action last year when Zambia was lifting the trophy. Third choice. It was always going to be difficult with the likes of Mangani Banda as the first choice goalkeeper for the Zambia under-20s last year. Remember, this Zambian side, the majority are graduates from the under-17 side that won the COSAFA, Council of Southern Africa Football Association's COSAFA tournament in Mauritius last year. Well, they decided to take it back to the goalkeeper from Justin Mwanza. Oh, that would have proved costly. Twice I'm seeing not very confident is Walia when it comes to him distribution of the ball hard and low. Now, Malumo for Zambia. He's got the captain to negotiate with. Finds space, lays it wide, good pass. Mwanza takes a shot, deflection, corner it is. I like the distribution of the passes by Malumo.
Whenever he's on the ball, something seems to be happening. So Zambia need to bring him into the game a bit more, because he goes off completely off the radar because he's not being utilized, when they're not reading his movement well. But when they do read his movement, it's exceptional way of laying off of the passes is concerned.
Well, they'll cut the two of them together with another player from Shrewsbury, not having chance in terms of finding it in the Zambian setup. But it's a corner with Lamek Banda for the Zambians. Tawari being a busy bee in this Zambian setup. Rather, in terms of him blocking the chances and shots that have been coming the Zambian way. They've been shooting on sight. Too much power from Lamek Banda. And this should be, thank you very much, gift for the Rwandese who break with Bonane. Because Bonane plays for Sport Club Kiev in the Rwandese league. Still a lot of time, 66 minutes overall in this match. They spread it wide, the Rwandese on the right with Mark Govan. Stopped by Banda now. Lamek, he's got space. Been put, nothing given. To the right, finds Martin Njovu. Showing too much of the ball, Njovu, but he's got chance now. Malumo is going for the ball. And selfish.
Very selfish. That's the word, really. From that angle, you want to hit the target, no problem. But if you've got a player in the 18 free, you might as well pass. He does a good job there. And then he tries to shoot from there. Surely you've got Malumo right in the 18, and also you've got Mwepu in there as well. But too many youngsters in here trying to make a name. Lamek Banda again is on the turf. To be a good time to substitute him, because obviously he's not 100%, but there is a card that has been showed there to Bonan.
Oh, Jean-Pierre Bonane goes into the referee book. Looks like it's a situation of dissent after a decision had been made. But also this challenge, pulling all over Lamek Banda, is what has seen Bonane getting the yellow card. So the 18-year-old attacking player from Sport Club Kievu in the Rwandese league becomes the latest player to be booked in this afternoon's match. In fact, the first player to be booked this afternoon. But like you said, Innocent, maybe a chance for the change to be made by the Zambians, because the third time a stretch has been called for Lamek Banda. Each time he gets to the sidelines, he's brought back into the action.
It looks like it's a hamstring this time around, because of your screen is holding the back of his thigh, so that could be a bad one there. And you don't want to risk him though, because here it is. Zambia seriously have won this particular game, and they're still pushing him.
Now, Rwanda starts with Bonane, the only player so far to have been booked this afternoon by referee Josephs. Christopher Harrison, I beg your pardon. Goal kick. So Zambia look like they'll be making a change. Banda will not be able to continue to play from the indications that we've got this afternoon. But it's a corner in the meantime for the Rwandese. Principal, in my opinion, hasn't truly been tested this afternoon, even as Rwanda beginning lining up to take this corner from Christian Ishimwe. It's brought inside at the near posts. Nicely dealt with by the Zambians with good cover that came through at the back from Benson Kolala. Ishimwe waits to get some support. Good connection, comes on, it's a goal! They've restored parity here. We did say about the defensive setup for the Zambians. And Leopold Maria Samuel, the 18-year-old, who is celebrating his birthday today, so it's definitely a birthday present. He's just turned 18 today and getting the equalizer for the Rwandese here. The home crowd has been stunned. It is 3-1 on aggregate, Innocent.
3-1 on aggregate simply means that it's one of, but a brilliant goal, it should be said equally. Look at that. No chance there. He goes for the Hollywood style and makes it count. That one there. No chance, Lamek Banda, Prince Walia, but it's 3-1 on aggregate, and they will start to believe this young Rwanda side.
So, on his 18th birthday, getting the equalizer for Rwanda, it's Zambia 1, Rwanda 1. But the Zambians now on the attack. Malumo brings it nicely, Mwepu balloons it. The distribution from Malumo very good. The final execution from Mwepu has been disappointing this afternoon.
Very disappointing indeed, actually, because a lot was expected of him, but really it's Malumo that has stolen the limelight. Every time he's in possession of the ball, he does not lose it, most importantly, and then he will make an important pass.
So Obino Chisala comes in for the injured Lamek Banda, and for Obino, 19 years of age, plays for Division 1 side in the Zambian setup, Happy Hearts. Speaking of which, they're in action against Paramita Football Club in one of the round 5, is it? Yeah, first round of the MTN Fans Super League Division 1 matches. Happy Hearts are playing Paramita. That's the same side that has produced a Zambian international in Evans Kalulu Kangwa. Now, Obina Chisala, first touch on the ball, naturally left-footed, looks comfortable operating on this flag. Chance now for the Zambian, and still goes forward. What decision? Corner it is for Zambia. Good introduction, good entry,
Good feet there from the young man Obino Chisala. Dribbles his way past and gets the corner for Zambia. So let's see what Zambia will do with this. And looks like it's the captain coming to take this one. Zambia has not been exceptionally good with the dead ball situations, but maybe this might be a chance to rectify that.
Corner now for Zambia. Speaking of which, the last time that Rwanda beat Zambia at home in any competition takes us back to the year 1999. That game was played at the Independence Stadium. It was during the defunct and inaugural Comesa tournament. Zambia was beaten 1-0. Corner comes through, and again, no one connecting. 3 Zambian players, including Malumo, Mwepu, and of course,
I think it was Njovu as well.
Njovu as well, interested there, but they could not connect.
How did this not go in? Malumo a bit too high. It's really Njovu, the major culprit, because he even had a touch of it. It goes past Malumo even as he tries, but Njovu there should have made it count. So Zambia will leave to rule that one back. Comfortable on the aggregate, but they probably want to bury this one and actually register a win as opposed to winning by way of aggregate.
Throwing now by Magovani. Still fighting, and it looks like there was a trailing leg from the goal scorer, Giletti, the player from Ghent in Belgium, on Zambia's number 12, Benson Kolala. So that's a goal scorer. He plays his professional football for the under-18s in Belgium. And what a birthday present he has presented himself by scoring what might just prove to be a first save over 2 legs against the Zambian side. Controlling the box, Akpia, not very convincing clearance, but at least the Zambians want the ball to be out of that area. Break is on. Chase for the ball by Zambia. This looks promising from Justin Mwanza. Cross comes through, and good cover by the captain, Prince Buragea, defending, and only just. It's a goal kick for the Rwandese.
Well, that was good movement there, good pace. Should be said as well from Justin Mwanza. The cross comes in, but they defended very, very well, and it's a goal kick. But Zambia really, definitely a better side in the second half here.
Mumba, and exploiting the right flank very well. Martin Njovu now. Takes a bit of time. The Rwandese are backtracking. Mwepu takes a shot, blockade coming through from the captain, Prince Bugera. Another shot, and overambitious was the Zambian captain, Prince Mumba, the 17-year-old Cabo Warriors attacking midfielder.
Also, it should be said, Mwepu just putting a bit of pressure on himself. He doesn't need to score.
He promised the Zambians that he will score 3 goals.
That's the thing, though. So that's not happening, and every chance he gets, he wants to score, and it's not happening for him.
Mwepu, Francesco spreads it wide to Martin Njovu. Justin Mwanza's overlapped, the young Nkana defender. Gets the better of the defense. Is he going to find the ball? Manages to keep it in play. And defensive work at the back, good enough by Placide Uineza. Having a quiet game in the second stanza, the center back for this Rwandese side.
Justin Mwanza keeps doing the one move over and over. Done it 3 times, but it's working out every time. Even as Mwepu, I think he's down for Zambia.
Oh, it's Mwepu who's gone down. He's an important player for this Zambia under-17 side. I remember last year when he was in the under-17s, they had to wait for him to write his grade 12 exams before he could join the team. So the beautiful faces have suddenly come through. No one is moving. Expectant crowd. It's got the beautiful game of football, and they've come through as we slowly build up. It's 26 days to go to the FIFA World Cup in Russia, and you can catch all the games live in the splendor of high definition. Russia, the host, taking on Saudi Arabia. That game on the 14th of June at 17 on Central African time, and all the games, 64 matches with the expert analysis and commentary. But this is the Zambia women's national team that are also in the qualifying process to go to the African Cup of Nations. Of course, expected to play against Zimbabwe. So right now, a lot of expectations. They camp currently in Lusaka at the Olympic Youth Development Center. Mumba takes a shot. Too much in a hurry. Second time. Wow, it seems everyone wants to score this afternoon, but you can see the frustration by the Cabo Warriors player.
And the frustration of Malumo, more importantly. He makes the pass and is again very open, and you keep trying. Second time the ball comes to you, you still don't make the pass. I think he's wondering what's with this not passing situation going on. Everybody wants to score.
Unfortunately, that's what has been Zambia's undoing in this game this afternoon, because Maluma suddenly created enough spaces, created so many chances, releasing the ball first time, but the opposite is not what is coming through from his teammates up front especially. Now Maluma fighting. Control brought down nicely by the Rwandese Sare Ishimia. Got a chance to make progression with Yakuba. Another chance now, and this one goes wide. They almost took the lead here from that connection that came through from the Lagarde. So you can see Prince Wale not happy. His defense suddenly is being taken to the cleaners here.
And it's all happening on this right side. They bring in the crosser, doing exactly the same thing, and Zambia not catching on. They need to just break down the move from the right side where it's all beginning from.
Zambia with Martin Njogu. It's brought down. This should call for a card. It did look very good. It looks like there was a training arm that came through on Martin Njogu. So it looks like we're going to have a booking here. A bit of consultation happening from referee Christopher Harrison. There was that challenge that came through from Gilbert Nshumimeri. Remember, he's already on a yellow card, and if he does get a second one, then it means that he will see red.
It doesn't look like he's getting any yellow card. Wow, nice to see that one again. There's the trip. But it looks very much accidental that they were both just running for the ball, and it's a question of the heel just meeting the knee of Gilbert, and
oh, it's up to the 30-year-old Mr. Christopher Harrison, the match official, Mr. Selfie, to decide about how this one will come out. Of course, came on the FIFA list in 2016, the 30-year-old Christopher Harrison. So let's see the decision that will be made here. So, a let-off for the number 11, Gilbert. Give it there, even as Job receives some more patching up on the sidelines. So 10 minutes. We're counting down before the end of this match here at the Coloma Stadium. In a match where Zambia should have been leading, but it's 1-0 here. Brought into the box. Goalkeeper Tawai has come out. His positional sense in him coming out there, not very convincing, trying to challenge that ball that was intended for Francisco Mwepu.
Yeah, Mwepu got on the end of it, but he too didn't look very sure of what was happening. I think he kept one eye on the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper did not get to it, but Mwepu was not psychologically ready for it, heading it just wayward in the end.
Interesting, more and more teams on the African continent, even in youth tournaments, summoning up their what I would call foreign-based players, controlled by Malumo. Too much. One is losing out, but he's suddenly piling up pressure, chasing every ball that the Rwandese do have. Let's see this movement. As usual, Zambia orchestrating its moves on the right flank. Malumo spreads it wide, but too much. It was too close to Christian Ishimwe. Corner it is for Zambia.
Well, then ends up being a corner. As much as there was a bit of a mistake in that process, miscalculated pass there from Maluma. I think the first and the second half from him.
Well, but again, like you said, I was hoping and praying that maybe the Zambians will make more changes so that the local fans can appreciate what is a newly reconstituted under-20 side. Remember, these guys are coming straight from the under-20 tournament, where Zambia hosted the tournament last year on the Copper Belt and were bombed out in the first round. So corner it is in the meantime for the Zambians, and it is Obino Chisala who had taken that one. Confusion in the box, but it was Benson Kolala. Apologies on that one.
I think that ball fell on the feet of Maluma. He didn't expect it at all there. and he just watches it.
But again, if you saw it, Malumo was being pulled by his shirt.
Yeah.
So maybe that was somewhat a disturbance rather, that made him not be able to continue with, maybe he wanted to connect that one. Rwanda with the throw now. Mark Govini, Chiamana. So this venue again will tomorrow host a local game in the MTN Farmers Super League, as Red Arrows will be in action against Forest Rangers. The domestic Zambian Super League now spread wide. And you did talk about them using this flank, Innocent. So it's like they're exploiting the left back position where Benson Kolala is operating from.
Which is an interesting turn of events, because I think it was very effective for Zambia in the first half, and all of a sudden seems like it's a weak point that is being exploited.
Now Mwepo. Out goes a throw-in for Zambia. Justin Mwanza with a quick throw. Receives it on the return. Floods one just now! Mwepo surely! Was it? Should have easily... He rose too high in connecting that one, Mwepo.
I think he didn't even need to use any force there. So there's so much power in the header. In the end, there was no direction to it. There was no one marking him anywhere. He could have easily picked his spot.
Oh, but credit should also go to Justin Mwanza, who provided the cross. The 17-year-old young Kana right back.
Yeah, he's been effective in the second half. Very good hard runs that he's made and crosses that he's brought in.
Trying to replicate his uncle, Bidi Mwanza. But now Mwepo, Malumo is calling for the ball. You can see. Let's see what Mwepo will do here. Nothing given. It's a penalty for Zambia. An opportunity for Zambia to increase the goal tally here. And it's Francesco Mwepo. He looks like an interested party to take it himself. And a chance with 7 minutes before the end of the match for the Zambians to win this one. But Mwepo looks like will be the one to step up to take this spot kick. You can see there's no need to not debate the Zambian huge striker to take this one, Mwepo.
Well, he beats his marker, goes for the ball, completely misses the ball, brings down Mwepo. So definitely a penalty, that without a shade of a doubt. There, the defender lunges in, but does not get a touch at all on the ball there. Iwenza, and it is a penalty, and Mwepo says, well, the goal I've been waiting for has finally come. Let's see if he puts this one at the back of the net.
So a chance for Zambia to lead this afternoon for the second time. Remember that their lead cancelled out, the Zambians, by that goal that came from Gillette, the young Wasip's Amavubi striker. So Ntawari versus Mwepo. But again, there's a bit of commotion in the meantime. And referee Christopher Harrison has to keep the young lads' names low.
Interesting that Malumo doesn't take any push-ups around, because he's been pushed and he retaliates, and showing you that he's a very confident player and won't take any nonsense in and around him. So a lot of confusion, and Malumo being spoken to alongside the Rwandese captain.
So some mini conference being called by referee Harrison, separating these two players.
And this is what happened. The player just stands right in front of him and is saying, give me some space here, and it's being pushed. So really, the referee is seeing all that right under the referee's nose, and all of a sudden there are 3-4 players around him, and the Zambians go out to help. Penalty though.
The evidence right in the eyes of Christopher Harrison. Chance now for Zambia to take the lead yet again. Francesco Mwepo versus Ntawari in goal for the Rwandese. And saved by the goalkeeper. Well, he cleared the shot where he was going to place that one. Chance for Maluma, and it goes wide. Well, casually taken by Francesco Mwepo. He did show clearly where he was going to place the ball, and right call by the Rwandese goalkeeper was not disappointed this afternoon. The Rwandese community in Zambia, maybe the traveling party, will be happy with the way this scoreline is, and by the save made by this man, Ntawari.
Well, not his day, Mwepo, really. He has missed a whole lot of chances, even from 12 yards. He fails to convert. Easy, and it's very good height for the goalkeeper, always going to save. And they're very excited about that, though, because maybe they feel that it still leaves them with some hope.
Rwanda still fighting. They've got a chance here to upset the records, and they take it out. Zambia still living dangerous in the closing stanza of this match. Still a lot of work that has to be done by the Zambians, Innocent, in terms of if they have to replicate what the previous under-20 did now. Mwepu, he would want maybe to atone for that mistake that he had made. Deduction time, selfish. That's a key word I'll keep emphasizing this afternoon, because there's a chance, and it's a goal! Offside, 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 it won't count. Malumo almost getting the second one, but it won't count. As the second assistant, Evenkos Ndongeni, had blown the likes of Vincent Mwane plus the other Zambian delegation outstanding.
Looks tight, but I think he was offside, Malumo, in the end, but very, very close call that. But the official raised the flag and the referee called it. But again, Mwepu, surely he should have just passed that ball. He did the best work he could ever do and just doesn't want to pass.
Now, Malumo, it's brought down. Looks like there was an elbow that came through there. It'll be interesting to see what could have happened there. Malumo is down.
The referee has not seen that. Malumo is going there. Well, it's a hand, really, yeah, definitely a foul that's on him. There, it's caught. Doesn't look deliberate, but still handbags are swinging, and it's going to catch you in the end. So Malumo is down, but he seems to be up and about. Well, the boy's got character. I want to tell you one thing.
Yeah, they certainly keeping these defenders very busy. They have a story to tell about Malumo. Something they said when he came in as a substitute in the first leg. So player has been stopped because again referee Christopher Harrison has to check on it's going to be a drop ball situation. Now play will resume with Ntawari. Slowly we are marching towards the end of this match. It will be a disappointment for the local fans who are hoping that the young Chipolopolo would be able to replicate the form that saw them win 2-0 in Kigali. Outside his boot, Malumo to the left, to the right rather. Brought down nicely by Njovu Martin. Finds Justin Mwanza, I beg your pardon. Cross comes through, dealt with nicely at the back by Placide Uwenza. Mwepu brings it down. Nothing given there. The goal scorer now is still fighting, and maybe you're thinking that the second one will come through. Akuya beaten to that challenge. Now the Rwandese 3 against 3, 3v3. Still fighting in their way in the box with Kingsley Akuya. But Zambia get away with this one.
They have a player down. Looks like a punch up or something there. Again, does a good job there in Kingsley. That goes down in the end, and substitution time. They seem to be killing their own time, the Rwandese, because they're the ones under pressure.
So this is how the goal scorer is exiting. So Gillette off, his goal still stands. And what a goal for the 18-year-old celebrating his birthday today. And off he goes, his place taken by Bogade, the 17-year-old from Bugesera Football Club in Burundi coming in. So 5 minutes of additional time. Still a lot of time. The Rwandese will feel they can win this one this afternoon. But Zambia now turning by Thomas Zulu. Brought down by Janvier Bonane. Zulu from Kafue Celtic, who are known to produce young players that have gone on to represent the country at the highest level. Kolala now brings it. Malumo looking for space, takes it wide, rather bind to Zambian setup. Mwanza, mistake. Malumo leaves it. Second time he's receiving, good turning, takes a shot, deflection, corner. controlling things rather very easily, casually hits it up like a diesel engine, but he does get the shot at goal.
Kind of reminds a bit of a Besuma kind of,
absolutely,
style of play.
Oh, he's won the hearts of the local fans, Maluma, I'll tell you.
Oh, most definitely. I think he's been the standout player, in as much as there's been some good individual play from the players. But I think for me, he definitely has stood out for the Zambia national team.
Corner comes through, and again Mwepu challenge for that one. Corner it is, second one in succession. Pressure, 1 minute of the 5 played, but you can see a few instructions coming through from Wetson Nyirenda. It's part of the under-20 setup. Of course, on the left is goalkeeper coach Kalililo Kakonje.
I don't know if Mwepu is ever going to have a game with so many chances, because even this corner, again, he was all alone, did not hit the target with that header.
So corner for the Zambians with Benson Kolala. It's been taking all the set pieces, but they've been very disappointing from the Changa Rangers left back. Now Malumo still going strong. He doesn't have the support. Lays it wide. Chance now, and again missed. Mumba. If I were to give a man of the match award, I'll give it to Malumo.
Oh, he's been,
in terms of yes,
he's been tremendous.
Now on the other side, Rwanda on the attack. They take a shot and goes wide. They always operate on counter-attacks, and not a bad effort coming through. You can see the appreciation from Vincent Mashami for Laga. A lot of work this man has to do, Wale, going into the next round of the competition, because suddenly, if you're going to create so many chances and you don't bury them, you tend to be punished. And this is the same story that is happening here, because Zambia at some point sat back and the Rwandese came through.
Not short of entertainment, this game that has been there, but having said that, chance after chance on either side of the divide, Rwanda could have easily wrapped up this with the one goal that Zambia has only managed to score. They could have easily scored 2 or 3. Same applies for Zambia, probably could have scored 5, but that man in the picture right there, arguably the man of the match with his splendid performance. Second time he's playing for the national team, and boy, what a performance.
So it looks like we're playing the last few seconds of this match, and some fans have already started making their way out of this Nkoloma Stadium. But it's the Rwandese who feel they can get a late winner here and silence the local fans. 2 players lining up. Yakuba, the number 5, for me hasn't disappointed since coming in, the entire football club player. But it's the responsibility that is left for Christian Ishimwe, and out it goes. Maybe a chance for me, Innocent, to get your report card about how this afternoon's match has been.
Well, it has been a very interesting game, it should be said there. Rwanda living up to their billing that they do play well away from home when they don't have the pressure. Zambia equally living up to their billing that they do not play that well at home due to the pressure, because they've really failed to dominate this game. They've created the chances, but butterflies in the belly, they're failing to convert. But they've had one shining star in Malumo, who has been exceptional here. First touch, good, and even his goal well taken despite the deflection. So Zambia will feel that, yes, they deserve to go to the next and final round, but they should have won convincingly here. They were not convincing, and the red card though has come through. Well,
straight red. Looks like there must have been some dissent, maybe. To be interesting to get to know what could have happened, but it's a red card that has been given. So 2 out of 2 the Rwandese get red cards, and this time around it's the captain, Prince Buregea, the 17-year-old Army Patriotic Rwanda APR.
It is not moving
defender.
away.
So Prince Buregea gets the red card.
Well, this is the second time that they're having in the first leg. They had a player red carded early on in the first half, and now they've got a player red carded late on in the second half. Very indisciplined side, you feel.
So the captain, for the Zambian captain, makes way. Prince Mumba, his place taken by Muku Kachanda, a striker from Gomez Football Club, 18 years of age. And of course, he says his favorite local player in the Zambian league is Triple C, Cletus Chamachota. And on the international front, Mesut Ozil. I hardly feel, I reckon you'll not even have time to touch the ball. But in the meantime, player will be stopped until the player who has been red carded, Prince Buregea, exits the playing surface here at the Nkoloma Stadium.
And also another substitution being made by Rwanda. Interesting how these subs are coming on now. You'd wonder what the effect or impact that they're going to make.
So Bonane off, Chafi. Songayingo comes in, the defender from APR. He's also part of the APR main team, 17 years of age. So anytime from now, referee should be blowing the end of this match here. And Christopher Harrison brings the end of proceedings here. What a game that we've had. And for the home side, Zambia, they qualified 3-1 on aggregate. This man's goal on his debut, full debut for the young Chipolo Polo, is what is seeing Zambia marching on the next round. Just let's grab about how the goals came through. And it was Malumo getting the better of the Rwandese defense at the near post. The shot came through, and at that time, the Zambians in the 53rd minute were celebrating, getting the better of the number 6, Christian Ishime. No chance for Ntawari in the goal. And certainly an important one on his debut, the Wigan Athletic under-18 striker. And thereby, in the second half, putting the young Chipolo Polo, are the defending champions of this under-20 tournament, in the lead. Celebration time for the Zambians, and Maluma most importantly on his debut. But on the other side, it was the